So tonight I wanted to do some very direct self-inquiry and really just to break through some beliefs that we have that this process, this waking up out of our old sense of who we thought we were, that it needs to be that it's a long and involved process, and it really doesn't need to be. And to shortcut that, it's important to have the direct experience of what you really are as soon as possible. There's major benefits to this, but the most important benefit is really that it will become a lived thing for you. The truth will be your truth. It won't just be something that teachers are talking about or something you've read about in a book. Most importantly, it will be something that has come alive inside you. So we're just going to do a very simple self-inquiry process to directly experience what is actually real about you, the most real aspect of you, the one that's permanent. So you can follow along if you like, or if you prefer just to listen. But if you really want to wake up, I would urge you to follow along. And it doesn't matter whether your eyes are open or closed for this. Just to follow along and see if you can prove to yourself what I'm saying inside. See if you can bring yourself to really experience the truth of what you actually are. So just as you're sitting here right now, watching this, listening to this, you're naturally, effortlessly using your senses to perceive. Your eyes are looking at the image on the screen. Your ears are taking in the words that I'm saying, any sounds in your environment. It's quite natural and effortless for you to be functioning this way. And also, your body is making contact with whatever you're sat on. There's a sense of touch. And then just to shift your attention, shift your focus, to begin to notice the space in the room. So we can perceive the objects in the room. We can also perceive the empty space in the room. So wherever you're watching this from, there are some objects in the room. There's also some empty space. And then just to expand a little further, I'd like you to bring your attention to this moment, this present moment, which is kind of the space in which even the room is happening. Your body, the room that you're sitting in, these words are all happening inside this moment. This moment has to be here first, before you can even hear these words. So if we put some attention on this moment, and just to investigate what that is, and I'm going to ask some questions that may seem really strange, but just see if you can follow along with these questions and investigate as we're talking. So first of all, where is this moment? It's here. It's very definitely present. Right now, there's a sense of this moment in which these words are happening. But where is it precisely? Can you say it's over here? Or could you say it's over there? Does it have a location like your body does? Your body can say, well, it's here, it's sitting in this chair. But is that applicable for this moment? Does it have any color to it? Does it have any characteristics to it? Does it fit any of these categories? This moment, has it changed since we first began satsang tonight? Is it changing this moment? What's appearing in this moment? Our bodies, these words, things that are going on, car driving past outside, all that is changing. But this moment itself, is it actually changing? And when did this moment start? If we look at the clock, there's a second hand that's ticking, indicating segments of time. But is that really how it is for this particular moment? Or is it something completely different? So, does it have any quality that you can say it's like this or it's like that? How big is this moment? Everyone right now on this satsang has the same sense that this is all happening in this moment. These words are being spoken and understood. Is my sense here of this moment any different to yours? Where these words have been spoken and where they're being heard, is it any different at all? Is there any dividing line between my moment and your moment, wherever you are watching this? So it's important to begin to really put some attention on the most permanent thing about you, which is this moment. Everything else that is arising inside this moment, these words, they're gone as soon as they're spoken. Any objects appearing are going to disappear. Even the building you're sitting in is going to disappear. Even the body that you're using to hear this through, that I'm using to speak this through, is going to disappear. There's only one thing that is not going to go. So that must be what you are, first and foremost. Before anything arises in this moment must be here. So could it be possible that this intangible, invisible moment that we can't really locate, but is very much present, that doesn't have any borders or boundaries, is actually the intelligence itself? What if this moment is more intelligent than our human mind? What if this moment, the thing that we all just take for granted is here, is actually the driving sentience behind all life, everything that appears inside this moment? And I want you to notice as well how effortlessly you shifted your focus from what's appearing inside this moment to the moment itself. And even when you were noticing this moment, you could still use your senses effortlessly. You didn't suddenly stop hearing my words when I asked you to notice this moment. You were still hearing. You could still see this image. You could still see what's coming in through your eyes. So where are you perceiving this from then? If you can shift effortlessly in a heartbeat from noticing through your senses and then taking in this moment, which you can't see with your eyes, but it's very definitely being perceived by you. You can switch effortlessly from one to the other. And even when you put your attention on this moment, you're still looking through your senses too. They're both happening at the same time. So where are you perceiving this from then? If you can effortlessly look through the forms, and you can effortlessly immediately shift to noticing the formless nature that is the real self, this moment, this invisible field of context in which all of this is arising. Where are you then if you can notice form and formless effortlessly switching? Did it take any time? Did you have to do any practice? Did you have to get into the right state? Did you have to transcend your karma to notice it? Or is it just something you've always been able to do? It's simply a shift of focus, a shift of attention. This moment is here and is eternal and unending, unchanging. It's invisible, it's intangible, it's unlocatable. It doesn't have a particular place we can say it's here. If your body got up now and started to walk, how far would you get before you lost the sense of this moment that your body was walking in? How far would it get before it disappeared? Could it disappear? Could it be that this is what you've always been in your first and foremost aspect, but perhaps attention hasn't gone to this? This has gone unnoticed, this moment. Maybe you just didn't know that you could do this so easily. Maybe we've been believing in some process or some trying to get somewhere. So can you be only inside this body if you can perceive formlessness effortlessly? How are you perceiving this moment? How is it that you're noticing something that you cannot see with your eyes, that doesn't have any smell at all, that is completely intangible, even less tangible than the space in the room? It doesn't have any color, doesn't have any texture, doesn't have any size, doesn't have any shape. It doesn't have anything at all that you could use to contrast and to compare the nature of this moment. So how are you actually recognizing it? With what faculty? Is it a thinking process? Or is it just a recognition, instantaneous recognition that this moment is here? And if you're not using your senses to perceive this moment, you can use your senses to perceive what's appearing inside this moment. But it's a different faculty altogether that we're using to actually notice the intangibility of this moment. Could it be that we're noticing the same thing even? That what we see through our senses and this moment that we perceive are the same thing viewed from two different angles? That when I look at this moment through my human senses, I see a world of objects and change and becoming and shapes that are constantly in motion. And when I look at this moment without my senses, I see intangibility, formlessness, ineffability, something that's constantly present and unchanging. So where are you perceiving this from? If you can effortlessly see your Buddha nature right now, just by perceiving this moment, the formlessness in which all of this content is appearing, can you only be limited to this body and mind? Where are you looking from? If the moment that I asked you, you effortlessly shifted a gear and began to notice the formless intangibility that we've been told takes so long to notice. I think we noticed it in about 5 seconds. So where are you looking from then? Could it be that you are already outside of the mind and body, looking through them, using them, enjoying the senses, the mind, but also immediately able to perceive that which is not perceivable through the senses and the mind? Mind can think about something. Mind can think about this moment, but it cannot directly see something that is invisible. Mind is looking to try to compare two things, visible and invisible even. Why is it important to recognize where you're looking from? Because then you're going to see that you're looking at your mind, at your body, rather than from them only. You're going to see that they're happening inside your experience and that they function effortlessly. Even right now, my attention is on the formlessness of this moment. I can still say these words and I could still understand if someone was talking to me. So what is it then that is watching, and it can switch effortlessly between looking through the body and the senses and looking at the empty, vast formlessness of this moment? Have you ever stopped really to think this way? That you might be so already completely beyond where you think you are, and perhaps just not noticed? Or perhaps we've had this idea that we have to work up to it, or that we have to let go of something first to see it. Is this intangible moment affected at all by anything that arises in it? Can anything at all happen in this appearance that's happening that will affect the formless reality that you are. Could anything destroy it? Could anything bring it to an end? All these shapes that the formless moment is taking that we call objects, phenomena, if they all suddenly disappeared, has the moment disappeared? Has the moment changed? It's important to recognize exactly where you're looking from already. You don't even have to know how to do that. This exercise is only to show you that you're not looking from where you think. You've just gotten so used to looking through the mind and body, looking through the senses, that you perhaps forgot that you can effortlessly shift right now, in this moment. When I look through my senses, I call it a world. I call it tangible. I call it visible. I call it form. And when I look without my senses on my mind, I call it invisible and intangible and formless. Could they be the same thing that we're looking at? Could there be two ways of perceiving yourself? Could this world, this room, these objects be something very different than what we thought they were? So what is enlightenment then, in this, viewed in this perspective? It simply becomes then a shift of focus, a habit, a shift from continuously focusing on what's appearing in this moment to continuously and effortlessly noticing this moment in its intangibility first. And the body continues to function with the interact with the other forms and do all the things it needs to do. Right now, where you're focusing on this moment, your body is still doing exactly what it needs to do. The blood is pumping, your lungs are breathing. You can still hear these words, understand what they mean, even without having to put any attention on them at all. It's just effortless for you. So I really want to show you that it's really a shift of focus only, that with enough consistent attention put on the formlessness that is this moment, that really isn't hard to do, whether we call it this moment, or silence, or stillness, or awareness, or the noumenon, or the self, or reality, or 100,000 names that it has. It doesn't really matter what we call it. It's just important to see that it's just a shift of focus to notice this first. And perhaps that's all an awakened being has ever really done, is cultivated a habit to notice this first. So much so that it becomes effortless.